What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Over the Octagon podcast. We have a special edition episode for you this week, another fighter interview. We are going to jump right in with our guest, Joey Guns Poirier, to discuss his career. He had a fight coming up, something happened. We're going to get into all that, look at what's next, what's the future, how the past couple fights have gone, his training, just get into everything, man. It's going to be a good conversation. If you're not already, make sure you hit that subscribe button over on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel, hit the thumbs up, like the video. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Amazon Music, make sure to follow the show. Without further ado, let's have some fun. Let's get right into it, baby. Peace.
Take the mask off, let them see your fangs. Every scar is a story with pain. Red wine on the carpet stains, like you have to go and say her name. I bet you never really prayed for rain. Black roses attracted to flames. Darkness just fuels my day. I think I'm past insane. Don't blink, I think it's already over. Think fast, kid, you only get older. This one's for the fallen soldiers. It's a full moon and I want that closure. Have you ever had a voice in your head that wants to fight everyone until they're all dead? Well, I do. Yeah, that's craving flesh. The voice in my head has become my friend. Break the system. Save me from myself. You're self-inflicted. You're bad for my own health. This is Over the Octagon. Welcome to the shit show.
Yes, it is. Welcome to the shit show. We're back with a special guest.
Yeah, boy.
Guns. Yes,
What's up,
sir.
guys? What's
Let's
up?
go.
Good to be back.
Welcome back to the podcast, man. Thank you for joining us. Thanks for taking time out on your Sunday to hop on here and hang out with us. I appreciate it.
Of course. Yeah, always a pleasure. It's been about a little over a year since the last time I was on with you
I
guys.
know. I still, to this day, will say you had the best backdrop of any guest we've ever had on your first episode with us. So that
Let's
shit was
go.
still badass. In the
Let's go.
cage, flag in the background.
I was
Yeah,
going to say,
amazing.
we talk about that all the time.
We do.
Yeah, that was a
Time-
good one.
We tell people all the time, we're like, oh, dude, we had this guy one time. He was fucking sitting in a cage with an American flag behind him. And that was right before the fight. It actually, on Memorial Day weekend last year, I think that actually ended up falling through. That dude was
Yeah.
like coming from Afghanistan or something. So you were
Yeah, Pakistani or something like that. So,
Yeah.
we had to rep the boys in blue.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get some of this stuff kind of out of the way. So you had a fight booked at Combat Zone 88, right, for the belt with Combat Zone, which it came out this week that fight kind of fell through. So kind of walk us through that. What happened with that? And
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, 100%. So, I think it was last Friday. I was at the gym training with Connor, Valdina, and Coach Pete, and I got the text after training that he pulled out, had a bad staph infection. So we'll see what happens now moving forward. He was saying could wait till August, and he'll be ready by then. But I'm trying to keep my career going and trying to be on a bigger stage in August. Not trying to be.
I hear you on
playing,
that.
So.
Okay. So obviously that's not what we want, not what you wanted to hear, right? Kind of getting hyped up for that fight with Combat Zone. What does that do? Like where are you at kind of mentally now? Like, how do you maintain focus with that, getting that kind of news and that being so recent? Like, how do you stay kind of locked in? Because like in this game, anything could come up. Like you could get a text while you're fucking sitting here with us and like, hey, we got to fight, this date or whatever. So how do you kind of stay locked in?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of always ready. It doesn't really matter the opponent, in my eyes. Whoever they put in there is who's gonna who's gonna get their ass beat. So one guy falls out, another one comes in. You know,
Oh
it's
yeah.
just it's been happening to me my whole amateur and pro career. Like you said, the last time I was on here, we were talking about a fight I was supposed to have that April or May
Yeah.
with a Pakistani guy, and he pulled out. Ended up getting somebody else to come in. So yeah, it really doesn't matter. I just worry about myself and make sure I'm in the gym doing what I need to do, and good things will follow.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely. All right, so you're on a 2-fight win streak right now, right?
Yes,
Um,
sir.
I watched those. I watched those fights.
Two very different fights.
Yeah, yeah, two
For
really
sure.
different fights. But like the thing that I pulled from them, and I'd like to get your input on it. And I talked about this with Valdina a little bit. Is just the experience, right, that you gain from both of those fights. So you fought a guy, Adrian Haley, right?
Yep.
Tough.
Tough guy. Tough guy. He's been in there with some of the best guys in the
Yep.
region, and
Yeah.
he's been in some wars. So he's definitely a seasoned, a lot better than his 3-3 record was at the time.
I
You
was
know,
gonna
he could
say
have.
that. Yeah.
He takes different fights. He could be 5-0, 6-1, same as me. You know what I mean?
Right.
So he's definitely not one of these guys that are out there fighting bums and puffing up his record. He's in there for a fight. So yeah, we went to war. That was last, what was that, June? I think last June or
Last
July.
June.
I think it was
July.
July
July.
20th.
Yeah, July.
Yeah. So we went in there, had a 3-round war with him. He wanted to stand and bang. We knew he was going to want to stand. So the plan was to just go in there and take my time, which I think I showed. I usually get in there, and 5 of my 6 wins are all first round finishes. So
Right.
I don't have a lot of cage time. So it was the game plan going into that was just kind of take my time, pick them apart, and don't necessarily rush the finish. And I do think if I went in there with a little bit more urgency, I could have got the finish on him as well. But I'm happy with the way that it turned out. 15 minutes of solid work in there.
Yeah.
Still managed to drop him a few times, put him down. So
You almost had it. I mean, he got saved by the bell. Was it the first round or I think it was the second
I think it's second round.
yeah, end of the second round,
Yep.
he was on loose legs for sure.
Yeah.
And that was what,
And-
Cage Titan 66? Was that what that was? That was the big card, right? Where it was like Valdina, you, Giannetti,
Yeah.
Peter Baird, like everybody was on that card all at once, I think.
Yeah, it was a good card. It was a good
Yeah.
card.
So you got some good experience from that last summer. And I mean, because he came out in the third round, hard. He was working you to the body pretty good. Some good. It seems like that was the only thing that was really working for him in that fight.
Yeah, I mean, I try to keep the head moving. A lot of guys they have trouble finding my head, finding that punch. So the smart move on his part going to the body, you know, because body doesn't move as easily.
Right.
You're just not gonna break me to the body though. That ain't gonna happen. So
Yeah. Well, it did seem like you had those first 2 rounds in the bag. He came out. He was landing some big shots to the body in the third round. And I love the commentary, right? Because I think Valdina was actually commentating on that, which was interesting too. Because he didn't show any bias, which is good for him. Because we wouldn't be able to do that. Like we would be the most biased fucking commentators.
Hell yeah, we would.
Yeah. You would know exactly who we wanted to win. But I mean, dude, you pulled some dog out of you in that third round to make sure that you got that fight or that got that win, I should say.
yep, yeah, you never really know if you can gruel through that last like 3 minutes or 2 minutes or whatever it
Yeah.
is when you're
Yeah.
hurt. You know what I mean? Because I was definitely hurt to the body. I was definitely feeling it, but
Yeah.
to be able to know that, like you said, you got that kind of dog in you and you can push through those moments. You know, it's huge, and it just builds your confidence going into the next one. you know.
So that's kind of what I was going to ask. Like, where do you like? What do you think you kind of pulled from that fight specifically, and like in that moment, in that third round, to like carry you kind of forward in your career? Like what things did you gain or learn about yourself? I guess.
Yeah, just knowing, finding that breaking point and pushing through it. Um, you see a lot of guys too, like a lot of these TKO finishes or like even rear naked choke finishes. You know, a lot of the time it's not somebody getting out techniqued. It's them hitting that breaking point and just
Yep.
giving in to the win.
That's
You
For
true.
know what I
sure.
mean? Giving in to the loss, I should say. And just knowing that when I hit that breaking point, I pushed through it and I wouldn't give up my neck or go down from a punch that necessarily didn't rock me. You know, you see that all the
Yeah.
time from guys that just don't want to be in there. So to just have that mental fortitude and build off that, and you can bring it into the next fight in the next training camp. And yeah, it's good to know.
I
Yeah.
mean, it is definitely a confidence booster for sure, knowing that you know for a fact that you can push 15 minutes in under the most grueling circumstances. So just having that thought in your mind moving forward has got to just make it that much easier to go in there and fight 15 minutes, knowing that you have that dog in you.
Yeah, no,
So,
100%. I mean, I'm definitely not trying to make a habit of it, though. We went right back
nah,
to
for
that
sure.
first round finish
For sure.
after, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so that's what I wanted to talk about
Yeah.
next. So you have that battle, to which even like we're talking about the third round specifically right now. Like, and if anybody goes back and watches your fight against Adrian Haley, like the first two rounds were perfect. Like you were moving really well. I mean, he's tough. He threw a lot of power shots. He landed a
Man, he
few.
can take a fucking punch. Say,
Yeah.
like some of those knees and right hands, counter right hands that I was hitting him with, they would have dropped bigger dudes than him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was just a tough kid. I After the fight, we're sitting in the cage. I watched him take his gloves off. He didn't even have his hands wrapped. Just went through 15-minute war, all stand up. Guy didn't even wrap his hands.
Can you do that?
I guess Poirier was telling me that like they had a talk with the commission in the back because they didn't think it was legal, but
Yeah,
after
I
he
feel
talked
like
with after he talked with the commission, I guess they allowed it. So
I've never even heard of that before.
Yeah, me neither.
That's crazy.
yeah, I guess it was a little bit of an issue in the back, but doesn't matter.
So but those first two rounds, like he had a few things that he did well. Some calf kicks that served well. He really was investing the body the whole fight, but you were throwing this like lead leg knee.
Yep.
That was super impressive. Something that was really unique. That like, I mean, we watch everything. We watch so much fighting. That's a strike that I don't see a lot of, if anybody really used. It almost always comes from your rear leg, right? And you were kind of throwing this lead leg knee every time he would get close, and you connected with that a few times, and then followed it up with shots. So first two rounds of that fight were incredibly impressive by you, and then for you to kind of dog out that win and withstand everything that he came at with in the third round, very impressive. That leads to your most recent fight, what just happened,
March.
right? March.
Yeah, March.
Yeah. Just about less than a month ago.
No,
Um,
wow, dude.
Yeah, that was a big one too. You know, it's been a couple big fights after big fights, and yeah, like you were talking about that knee. It's not even something that we had really game planned for or necessarily practiced. It's just in that kind of in the moment, and it was kind of hard to find his head as well. You know,
Yeah,
Yeah.
on the feet, he was doing a good job of slipping punches and getting underneath my punches. So I kind of picked that up. Um, Towards the end of the first and really got him with it a few times in the second round.
Yeah.
uh
But
huh.
yeah, that's just something that after that fight we've just been implementing into the game plan because a lot of these guys they're a lot shorter than I am, and that no telegraph just kind of picking up the lead leg into the knee,
Yeah,
it does damage, you know, and it can
Sure.
cut people too. So yeah, it's one of my one of my favorite weapons now for sure.
Yeah, I had never seen that before, dude. I watched it and
Love
I was
that.
like, "What is that?" And it's almost like a kind of like the how they do in Muay Thai, kind of pump that front leg.
Yeah.
But you were using it not defensively, like almost as like an offensive weapon, like you just said. So really impressive. And then let me ask you this, actually, before we talk about your last fight. Both of those fights were catchweight bouts, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
So why was that? I mean, why are they
Um,
both at 130 pounds? Is that an opponent, like just opponents, kind of short notice thing, or like a weight? Like I mean, you're a flyweight, ideally, right, at 125. So what's up with the two catchweight fights at 130?
yeah. I mean, I'm always a 125er. I fought up to 135 before. I still feel comfortable at that weight against guys that size, but 125 is definitely my weight class. The reason for doing all the catch weights, um, whether it's me or the opponent, I just don't think why make the extra 5 pounds if it's not for a belt or it's not for a major organization. Like in my eyes, I treat the weight cut just as uh, important and can possibly be as detrimental to your health as the actual
Sure.
fight.
Yeah,
So the less times I have to put my body through that for something where it doesn't need to happen. We've made 125 um, tons of times. We know the routine to do it. We know what needs to be done to make that weight. But just why put myself through that unless, like I said, it was for the belt or for a major organization. You know, this title fight May 31st that I was supposed to have. That was obviously going to be for 125, no pound allowance. Now that fight's off the table because he has the belt currently, so the belt's off the table.
right.
I told them right away that we're doing 130 now. I'm not making 125 unless it's for a check. You know what I mean? I'm
Sure.
not trying to do this for.
That's smart.
Yeah, yeah. So is that that's like just like a personal choice? There wasn't any like specific instance that happened. Nobody missed weight. Like that was agreed upon ahead of time for both of those fights.
Yep,
All
yep.
right.
Agreed upon ahead of time for both of them.
All right. So no issues like making 125. You feel good at 125 because you're a fucking big boy at flyweight.
Yeah, biggest in the world, they say.
Yeah.
Big flyweight.
I've
But
seen that
no,
before.
no trouble making that weight. My cut to 130 actually for the this last fight versus Gene Patrick. I woke up at 130 on Friday morning. I didn't even have to do any sauna sessions whatsoever. Just kind of dieted down and sweated out a little bit through like running that week. But I didn't even have to go in the sauna one time for that fight camp to make 130. So
Oh,
125
that's
is really
shit.
no issue. But
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. So then let's talk about that. So Gene Patrick, another tough guy.
never been finished before.
Never been
Yep.
finished. From Brazil. And you somehow submit this guy. Your ground game, like the scramble. So he tried to throw you, right? He tried it a couple times, I think. He tried to hit these like hip tosses.
Yeah,
Where
yeah, he
he's
had a good one. He had a good one early on when we clinched up. Um, I've just been working a lot on scrambling, not settling on bottom, and I think it showed. It paid dividends right there. I don't let people hold me down anymore. I'm bouncing right back up if they can even get me down.
right.
So props to him with the sneaky hip toss. I'm a big fan of the body lock, so it's one of the counters that people usually go to when you get that body lock on them from the rear.
Yeah.
And after feeling it once and scrambling up, he tried to go for it a second time at the end of the first round, and that's when I kind of limp armed out of it and was able to take his back, and once I get on people's backs, like even at the bigger weight classes, like I'm in the training room with these guys, and once I get on their back, it's usually over. I have a really crafty back takes and back control. And once I lock my arms around your head, like it's over. It doesn't matter if your chin's still tucked in or you have a hand or two in there. I've had guys have their hands in between my arms and their neck, and I'll just squeeze straight through that.
Yeah.
Like I got a really tight squeeze, really strong in that position, and yeah, I think it showed.
So Valdina mentioned that. Andrew mentioned that on the commentary during that fight. Actually, like as soon as you got the back, he said something to the effect of like, he has some of the best back control of anybody I've ever trained with. Where does that come from? I mean, like, is there something you do specifically that you think gives you like an advantage in that position, or
Um,
like what is that? Just genetics of being the biggest flyweight in the world, or what?
yeah, I mean, I got a real, like I said, I got a really long body frame, and I think that helps me with like putting in like body triangles and grapevining the
Yeah, that's good.
legs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And same thing with my arms. They're just I don't know. I feel like they're made to just find people's necks.
I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, you being in a big flyweight too, that helps you out so much. Because if you look at like any of the great flyweights out there, I mean, like you said, the body locks thing, but the ability to scramble, in my opinion, at that low weight class is probably like the most important thing you could be good at. Because like most flyweights, they're not very really known for like TKO power, knockout power. But if you're a good flyweight and you have the ability to move fast and scramble in different positions and find that body lock, I mean, you look at Pantoja example, he's like one of the masters at that body lock,
Yeah.
and then scrambling. Like if you have the ability to do that in a flyweight position, like your ceiling is so high.
Yeah, and I think the whole game's just been coming together kind of early on in my career. I was more of just like sniper counter fighter,
Yeah,
landing big shots, and we've kind of found this game that through like a series of positions that I'm just really strong in. Like the clinch has become one of
yeah,
my strongest positions. For going from the clinch to elbows and knees, and then to back takes and taking people's backs, and yeah, it's a bad recipe for a lot of guys at the
for
flyweight
sure.
division.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah, the Pantoja comparison is good. That
Yeah.
that fight, that last fight actually with the rear naked choke, like the way you kind of shucked off the hip toss and then the scramble secured the back. You don't lose that position either when you get there. You finished it
Nah,
quick. He was pissed.
Yeah, I
Gene
mean, I'd
Patrick
be
was pissed.
pissed
You
too.
could tell.
He's never been finished coming out to America to
yeah.
get his ass whooped in the first round. So,
Yeah, you could tell
Welcome
that
to
he was.
America, buddy.
Yeah, you
you
could
know,
tell he knew he got caught. And was pissed. But I mean, it's great performance by you. All right, so
thank you.
let's talk about training for 1 second. Uh, Hook and roll.
Yes, hook and roll
First
coming
fighter,
soon.
first fighter to ever fight out of Hook and roll as a professional
Yeah,
organization, right?
big things coming from them. My two coaches, Mike Bromberg and Peter Luciani, both been in my corner since the start of it, since my first fight. Um, yeah, they got a place coming out in New Bedford, Massachusetts. They got the space already set up and everything. They're just in the process of like getting the mats, the bags, getting all that stuff in there. So once that's in there, that'll be another home base for all the guys. We got Valdina. He's gonna be out of there too. He's got in his
Yeah.
corner now Mike and Pete Luciani,
Mm-hmm.
and Connor, obviously Connor Matthews. He's having the same corner as well. Tyson, Mike, and Pete. So it's really just a good group of training partners and coaches that we got around ourselves, and we're a tight knit group. And I think that's what it kind of takes to succeed. You see a
For
lot of these
sure.
guys that come from like the big mega gyms or whatever, or like just move around a lot. They don't find that that same level of success as people that kind of hone into one group and just make that their mission. So it's really good to have that. Really important to me.
Yeah.
And yeah, hook and roll is gonna be one of our little home bases and gonna be good for everybody, I think.
Well, so when Joel and I talked about this before, specifically like about you guys in Massachusetts, because it seemed like that kind of was a piece that was missing, right? This like kind of one-stop shop place where you exclusively train. You have all your coaches there. A lot of the people that we've talked to prior from that area, it's kind of all over the place, right? Like you travel so much to get work and to get the training. And now, right, as I understand it, I mean, this is going to be this is it, right? Like you have your grappling coaches there, striking coaches, everybody, and all your training partners, everybody's going to be fighting out of one location. Is that like, have you noticed, is it difficult with the travel, like prior to having Hook and Roll open? Like, how happy are you to have a place that you can call home like that, where you can kind of exclusively train out of?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's gonna be huge. It's gonna be pivotal, I think, in all our careers. Um, just to have that consistency. I mean, right now we got it's kind of just like wherever the bodies are is wherever you go,
Right.
and through the past couple of years, been able to really, I think, hone in with that group, like I said,
Mm-hmm.
and the guys over at Cartel too, because we've been going up there pretty consistently, at least 2 or 3 times a week for the past year and a half.
Right.
So yeah, finding that kind of core group that you mesh with and sticking with them, it's massive.
Yeah. All right. So we talked about Gene Patrick. We talked about the Haley fight. Two different bouts. Obviously, your fight that you had coming up in May is currently off. You're looking for something. What can people expect from you? What kind of style are you trying to put out there in your next fight? Looking at your last two, vastly different. How do you kind of want to see your next fight go?
I mean, I'm still chasing that like out cold knockout, like they're sleeping on their face. You know what I mean? I think that's one of the things that I really want to get, but it's also one of those things that you can't force. You know what I mean? You can't go in
Yeah.
there and try to throw bombs, because that's when they don't land, or you get yourself too tired. So it's just something that has to happen naturally. And I think with the power that I've shown in both my hands, it's inevitable. Somebody's gonna be snoozing soon. So yeah, that'd be
Love
nice to
that.
see.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, all right. I guess, what do you want, right? Like, what do you want next in the future? You had a title fight. You're kind of bouncing back. What's like the goal? End of year, next year? I don't, I kind of, if you had a fight booked, I'd be a little iffy about asking this question, I guess, because I don't want anybody like look past their next opponent, so to speak. But I mean, like, where do you see kind of your career right now going over, let's say the next year or two?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I know a lot of guys say that, like, oh, I can't say
Right.
what's going to happen next because I
Right.
don't want to look past my opponent. But I try to map out my whole year. You know what I mean? I'm
Okay.
trying to line
Yeah.
up my fights. I need to have a game plan, have something I can be held accountable for, something that I need to stay focused for. And when I kind of set out my years like that, my year and how I want the fights to go. I think it's when I stay the most active, I stay the most successful, So I'm always looking past my opponents. I'm always looking at the future. And yeah, I'd see this card in May was really supposed to set me up with a good look for the Contender Series that starts back up in August.
Oh,
Okay.
I'd be 7-1. They like finishers. I got 5 out of 6 out of my fights right now are first round finishes. So yeah, I think I got a good case to be made for the Contender Series when they start back up in August. Um, at this point, we're gonna try our best to get one more fight in before August to make that statement. But if not, we'll be talking to them soon about getting on one of the weeks for Contender Series.
that'd
Uh,
be sick.
if that doesn't pan out and that's not what's supposed to happen, then that's not what's supposed to happen. I'll keep knocking out dudes and choking them out locally until I get the call. So, but I mean, these guys want me out of here. I'm a nightmare for this division, especially in the local scene. So they want me out of here as quick as possible anyway. So
Yeah. What is the current like? I mean, do you have an issue getting opponents there?
Um, I've had, if you go on my like Tapology on my thing, I almost have as many guys pulling out as I do fights. It's nothing new to me now at this point. Guys pull out, whatever reason it may be, and it's just on to the next. Like I said, I don't focus on necessarily an opponent. My coaches will look up footage and game plan and come up with a course of action of how we're gonna kill somebody. But as far as I go, I'm focused on myself and where I need to be, and yeah, the rest will follow. I got faith that they'll find somebody, whether it's Combat Zone or another promotion, and we'll get a fight in before August to look good for the Contender.
That'd
Yeah.
be sick.
Yeah. So that's the ultimate goal, right? I mean, that seems to be. We were actually talking about this last night. Like we were watching the UFC Fight Night or whatever last night, and they previewed
Ultimate
the
Fighter.
next season of the Ultimate Fighter, and which I think is flyweights, right? Did you like attempt at all to get on this season of the Ultimate Fighter or no?
Yeah, my manager reached out to them. We went through 2 rounds of interviews with them. I ended up unfortunately not making the cut, but like I said, everything happens for a reason. So
Yeah, but so this is like so I think I knew that, and I kind of asked that question to say like what we were talking about last night is like the Ultimate Fighter before Dana White's Contender Series, as far as like your path to UFC, like that was a great way to get into the UFC. Now, like it almost makes no sense, right? Like especially in my opinion, for someone in your position at 6-1 or 7-1, um, you could get a fight booked at the Contender Series, you win one fight in a good way and get a contract. Or you go on the Ultimate Fighter and you have to fight what 3 times at least, I think. In hopes of, winning the Ultimate
Winning.
Fighter and winning the contract.
Yeah.
It's just so much more involved in the Ultimate Fighter, I feel like, than in the Contender Series with ultimately the same result in the end. Like it just doesn't make sense anymore. Like the Contender or the Ultimate Fighter, like the whole show, like as a result, like just doesn't make sense anymore. You know what I mean?
yeah, I could agree with that. I think it's a lot like anything. It's more risk, more reward.
Yeah.
I think you come out of the Ultimate Fighter, you're almost a household name at that point as well, though. So like you come out of there,
Yeah.
you're not fighting for 10-10 or whatever, 14-14, whatever they offer you to start. You're coming out with that 6-figure contract too. You know,
Ah, yeah, that's true
so
too.
I definitely think it's definitely riskier for sure, and it's something that I definitely would have embraced. Though I kind of like that whole talking shit and mental warfare aspect of the game. So that's
Yeah.
something that I would have looked forward to as well.
Yeah.
Kind of where I thrive. So
I did say to them that I feel like, yeah, you'd have been a great character to have on the reality TV show that is The Ultimate Fighter.
no, 100%. So yeah, I mean, I definitely think it's a harder path to the UFC.
It is.
I think it's also a little more lucrative. You know, you like I said, you have kind of a name, kind of a following coming out of there. You got that
True.
6-figure contract, so I mean, it's
And you're getting to
like
work
anything
with like
else.
some of the best too while you're in there as well. Like
Yeah, I
like
think
DC and
DC
Chelsea
and
and bringing in some
yeah.
of the best coaches in the world, like, trainers, everything. You're going to get all that experience and exposure. Yeah, you are right on that.
And you've had like a little bit of experience, right? I mean, you've been to Vegas now a few times. And I think, are you going back next week?
Yeah,
Uh,
I leave on Sunday to fly out with Connor and just kind of be like a body for him out there,
yeah.
somebody for him to
So,
drill with and
so,
everything.
so
Keep him
Connor
ready.
Matthews fights May 17th again. Obviously, one of your training partners. You're going to go out to Vegas with him. You've done that before. Um, I know you guys have been in the UFC Performance Institute and kind of seen that whole place. What is that like? I mean, how incredible is that? I mean, we hear so many different things about that place. Like, what's kind of your experience?
Yeah, I mean, place is incredible. Place is incredible. You show up as a fighter there, you get the best facility really there is. It was created for this, you know. They got the in-house physical therapy, in-house strength and conditioning, the recovery centers there, like they got the hot tub, the sauna, and ice bath, steam room. You show up to the cafeteria, they have your food for the day. They just give it to you. You know, it just goes to show that you're not that far off, and when you get there, it's a huge step up in legitimacy and in professionalism. You know, it really makes you feel like a professional athlete at that point.
Yeah, yeah. Is that? I mean, that's got to be motivating, right? Like
A
to
hundred percent, a
kind of
hundred percent.
experience
I
that
feed off
alongside him.
that. Yeah, I feed off that.
Yeah. All right. So Contender Series obviously is the goal in August. Hoping to kind of book, um, one more fight in between. Then obviously, we'll be looking out for that for sure.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
I'm trying to think, man. I don't want to keep you too much longer.
No, don't
Um,
sweat it. Don't sweat it. I
but I
gotta.
but I do want to kind of gauge. Like you seem, uh, you seem very focused. Like very confident. Um, a lot of like a very good mindset, kind of going into this game. Regardless, a lot of people, obviously, having their opponents back out or being in maybe the current situation that you're in that's less than ideal, right? Would maybe have a little bit more of a negative kind of attitude and mindset in this moment, and you really don't. Like, what do you do, I guess, for other people to kind of take something away from maybe, something they can do in their own lives or practice in their own lives? Like, what do you do to kind of keep your headspace in that way?
I just make sure that I do what I want to do. I choose to wake up every morning and train and work hard, and I don't settle for for normalcy. You know, I think that's just knowing that I wouldn't change anything that I'm doing. So as long as I do what I'm supposed to do, good things will follow, and I just try to do that with every decision. Um, yeah, and this confidence, it just comes from hard work. You know, can't be confident if you're not confident in yourself and your abilities, and that comes from just hard work and seeing it in the training room time and time again. So I just know that it's destined for a great outcome, and as long as I keep my head down and do what I'm supposed to do, that's what'll happen.
Absolutely, man.
That's yeah.
Absolutely. Well, listen, why don't you tell people where they can find you? Floor is yours. Shout out whoever you want to. Tell people social media stuff, sponsors, whatever you want. Take a minute. Do your thing. Tell people what they need to know.
Yeah, you would have been able to find me at Combat Zone May 31st, beating someone's ass, but unfortunately, we'll have
Yeah.
to put that on the back burner until something comes out. But I'll be at Cage Titans May 24th to watch Valdina grab that belt, so that'll be good. Follow me on Instagram, Joe Poirier, just how it's spelled. And yeah, obviously, shout out to all the sponsors. It sucks they're not gonna be able to come out and watch this fight. I got a lot of people that bought tickets already, bought hotel rooms. So if we can get something put together with them, I'd definitely be grateful for that. I got guys like Evan Williams out in New York that always comes out and supports. Mike Miller, another good guy that helps me out. Cold Cuts out in Plymouth. They're my barber. I actually got to go see them before I head out to Vegas. Looking good, got to get out there, look good, feel good, fight good. I just partnered up with the Matt Nazar Jewelers over at Rentham Outlets.
I saw
Yeah, we
that.
saw that, dude. I was
Saw
like,
that.
damn, you're over here fucking
Yeah,
rocking
what
the
the
chain,
fuck?
son.
Yeah.
I love this.
Bro. We had something crazy planned for the walkout, but unfortunately, it looks like that's not going to happen as of
Damn.
right now. But that might actually be why I pulled out. You might have heard word of mouth just what I was about to do to him. But yeah, Matt Nazar over at Nazar Jewelers, crazy good work out of him. He does a lot of like custom jewelry and like pendants and stuff like that, and just a really talented guy. Yeah, and that's about it.
Awesome, man. Well, listen, thank you for carving out some time for us on Sunday. Hopefully you're getting your rest and recovery as well as all that hard training that you're doing. Look forward to whenever that announcement comes for this next fight. We will be
Soon.
We will be
Some-
without a doubt paying attention and keeping our ear to the streets,
For sure.
so to speak, to be able to watch that and pay attention to see you back in the cage again,
I appreciate
whether it
you
be
guys.
for a strap or not. And then, in August on the Contender Series, without a doubt, man.
That's it.
Yeah,
Manifesting
awesome.
that shit.
Yeah,
Let's
that's
go.
what you have to do.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do. So thank you, man, again for your time. We look forward to it.
Yeah,
Again,
it's always a pleasure, guys. It's always a pleasure.
yeah, absolutely.
Man, we love you guys,
Anybody,
man. So it's fucking always awesome to have you guys on.
If anybody is, if you're listening to this, man, go follow Joe over on Instagram. Check out his team, who also is just opening up a new gym, I believe in June, right? Hook and Roll.
Correct.
You can find them on Instagram as well. We did. Check them out. Check Joe out. Follow him over there. Follow the career. And we'll catch y'all on the next one, baby. Peace.
Fairly.